stumbling to try to say that sometime I think with the change of the century up until from 1999, I don't think there was any TSK. This is something that within the last couple of decades, that I'm seeing this TSK thing. But again,
Mhm.
to your point, uh, when it comes to something official now, you know, this is when you have to pull back and say, well, wait now, wait a minute now. When you're talking about the initials now, you know, this is like you're saying here on this 84 square mile island, we could clearly understand, what the TSK mean. But when
Mhm.
you go outside of this island now, you know, why does it have, you know, to be expected that people would know that Stanley Jacobs was a part of TSK? No way.
Exactly.
So
Right.
that I am totally, in agreement with you that again, if we are going to do right by this cultural history, let's do right. And I mean, it is Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. That is, the organization that we are here, at least my age group for sure. I don't know if younger people
Mhm.
will see it a different way, but in my age group, that's how I know it. I don't know no TSK. It's Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights, and so that
And,
if you're going to make it official, I would think that, it is really a denigration. It is really, I could say, that insult, to
yes.
actually, change the name because this is what you'll be doing to change the name from Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights to simply 10 Sleepless Nights. And again, I would advocate on behalf of my good friend Stanley because I know him and that's modesty. It's part of his whole character. He is not going to
Right.
stand up and argue, well, hey, my name got to be in it. No, that's not Stanley. He gonna shut him out, take his licks, so that,
Right.
people like you and I have to stand up and throw back licks for him and to say, no,
That's right.
you're not going to leave out Stanley Jacobs because this was his group. And that is how it should go down in our cultural history. Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. And I hope I have made my position clear on that.
Well, I hope that your audience far and near that always talking about how they love the 10 Secret Nights and Stanley and all of them, that they are going to call the senators, call all the people who are involved with this preservation thing to do it the right way, right? Because it's still, and a lot of people don't even know that they're listed in the Smithsonian Institute, right? And
I'm
even
aware of
still
that. I'm
right
aware
up
of
in
that, and
there.
I know. Well, again, a lot of people don't know about all the different places that Stanley and the 10 Sleepers have been to, and have
Exactly.
actually and
Worldwide.
celebrated our culture across the planet, so that,
That's right.
yes, again, all the more reasons why, Stanley Jacobs deserve the credit. And I, for one, I'm saying as loudly as I can to my beloved audience, if you're going to make this official cultural history, it's got to be Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. That's my view.
That's right. And honor my classmates the right way.
Good thing.
So with that salam.
So long we talk so more, beloved.
All right.
That
Yes.
conference of stress believe there. So all I gonna say to you
Yeah,
is
I need ice cream.
yes indeed. Get your ice cream. Lick your
All
cream,
right.
because I'm sugar ice cream is just so good for your
For your
soul.
soul.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Hmm. And yes, indeed, we're talking a little bit of culture, cultural history, and I appreciated that, Carl, because that's right up my alley, so to speak. Is yes, uh, that is one of the reasons, one of the big reasons why I'm so supportive of our history as a people, the history of St. Croix, the history of the Virgin Islands, the history of the Caribbean, and of course, the history of Africa. And these are all histories that, beloved, you tell me, why is it that it is so controversial? Just like how we're talking here about now, Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. Why does that have to be something controversial? We all know and love Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. Why in the world would we want to make an issue out of that? Why? Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. That's how it started. That's how it's always been. Why would we make an issue out of it now? But this is what I mean. It's like somehow it is problematic for us to embrace our own. I mean, it's like an issue. And Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights is ours. I mean, what could be more crucial than Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights? Well, Mario, you get yourself into trouble about because, you know, uh, I will have to answer that question right away. So, well, yes, I'm sure I scream being a little longer than Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights. But we're in the same ballpark. Why is it that we have so, I know, so much contention, so many issues? Why is it so problematic for just us to embrace our own? And that's why I, refer to the car like Bar Street and never go back to the, well, many in my beloved audience would never be able to appreciate, you know, who Bar Street was and why he was emblematic. But again, it's like in the same conversation, whenever it comes to ourselves, our identity, our history, this one all of a sudden it becomes a tremendous controversy. It's problematic and it's contentious to a whole lot of us. And it's like, but isn't this our thing? I mean, beloved, you tell me, you know, why is it problematic for our government to do whatever it can? And I'm not here to tell the government what to do, how to do, what to do. But I think as an individual and as a host of this program, I would be in line to ask, well, why is it problematic? Why is it a contentious issue for us to embrace Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights? I don't know. But, beloved, if you're my age, you would know that back in the early 1960s, there came a time when an icon in Fredericksted, like Bass Pete, that somehow, according to Paiwansky and the Unity Party in St. Thomas and all of these people had this study with NYU, and they come to the conclusion that our schools, imagine that now, our schools were below standards, and that we needed to improve our education system by getting qualified teachers. Yes, beloved. That happened in the 1960s. Paiwansky became governor of the Virgin Islands in 1961. And that was one of his first issues. And the next thing we know is on there telling us that our teachers, that's right, our teachers, right as so in the Virgin Islands, were not qualified. Mind you, our teachers were not qualified. Now, beloved, this is how my mind works when we had the conversation about spending the 10 sleepless nights, and his boss, Pete Blood, who actually bring up the issue. And so it make me to think that yes, Boss Pete was one of these people that the new administration, the Paiwansky administration, wanted to convince us that they were not qualified to teach. And so that one of the reasons, if not the reason, why our school system was not up to standard, it was because we did not have qualified teachers. And that's they wanted us to believe that Boss Pete was not a qualified teacher. Can you imagine that? But I lived through these things. Just like I am now living to hear that, hey, it's not Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights anymore. It's just 10 sleepless nights. Forget about Stanley. He ain't qualified. Beloved, I mean, I don't know how to frame these things, but this is clearly indicative. Yes, it indicates how we see ourselves as inferior, even though we'd fight anybody who call us inferior. We'll argue that point. Blood and son call me inferior. But beloved, this is what it comes down to. And this is what these kind of things indicate to me. When we would allow for Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights to just simply become 10 sleepless nights. And that coming from Boss Pete, who in my recollection, this is one of the things that made me become the political activist that I am today, is that the Paiwansky administration was letting us all know, and we were falling for it. Matter of fact, we were not falling for it, we fell for it. We accepted it. That Paiwansky said he had a study done by NYU New York University, and they concluded that that was the issue. Our school system was not up to standard because our faculty, the teachers in our school system, were not qualified. Now, mind you, know, we didn't have a college at the Virgin Islands, much less a university at the Virgin Islands. The closest thing to a college we had would have been Puerto Rico. If you were fortunate enough that you could go to college in Puerto Rico. Other than that, you got to go to the States. Good stream, beloved. Carla. Good afternoon.
Hey, Scholar.
Super Dad.
Good afternoon, Scholar.
You come back now. You see, you Super Dad, you come back now. So I have to take it.
You the Scholar man. Hey, that's just like when they bring some firefighters from the States, right? I said they will show you how to deal with all guinea grass.
Thank you. Thank you. They got no guinea grass up there, but they gonna come show me about all guinea grass when they don't know what guinea grass is.
When they went back, they went, hey, come, we know how to get it out.
You read it. You know, sir? But that's what we don't do to ourselves, Super Dad. That's the point I'm making here with this. What we don't do to ourselves.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them, by the time they bring in people from the states to teach us education start getting up here?
Thank you. Thank you.
You know? Okay, well, far different, bring people, what it be?
Man, the first set of them was pure white people, and they see it as an opportunity for them to get a paid vacation.
Exactly.
You understand?
Right.
They couldn't wait for the school bell to ring school out. They got beach.
Yeah.
They got to get the tan.
The weather.
Yes, son. Yes, son.
Hey, I remember and I thought you know go on the beach by the what it used to be like shot in the air.
Man, stop it, man, what they call it. I know I've been to school, and that was the beach club.
Yeah.
You know.
Never do.
You what?
What song now is one more when I do.
What you say? Oh, you just put me on the spot like that. What they call it?
I laugh at you.
I know more about Langwal because when they talk about that, I just remember the girl that lose her life down there. I think.
One of my big girl, right?
Yeah, Gloria, her name.
Well, I was talking about the phone where it should be safe.
I know.
I run them people.
I know. They that was you. So because so next thing I know, they go tell me that I violate. So you see, you a Super Dad. They can't do you nothing.
Right?
You run things.
You remember that long pipe thing we had by the Target Wall too? Target Wall. What is that? The house been?
Yeah, what they call it? That was a first Target Wall.
Well, you know that.
Yeah.
That's what my grandfather, my mother, father lose his life. He broke his neck over that thing.
Yeah.
So I never meet here. I never meet my father.
Well, that's the state.
When I gained time to know he had moved to Santo Domingo.
Right.
My father.
Yeah.
And then he went to the States, and my father used to tell me every step he got here in Milligan, he went to the horse Milligan, he got some.
A whole heap, son.
Well, my grandfather had all of them in one building.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that I come like you, okay?
No.
Always like every Target Wall, okay?
Leave Target Wall out of it because I tell you, there's some He has got some good memory, but some bad one too, man. And the one that was what they call it, girl who's alive, and how the mother none them. They were supposed to be going there and close it in the water down to the, you know, uh, to the where the beach club,
Yeah.
so that we could mind,
No, yeah.
must say a quarter mile from from where we bathing to where the beach club there. But we
Yeah.
can't go in the water then because the mother none this was such a Belgian none, you know. Uh I guess we got dirty the water for them. So
Yeah.
we couldn't go in the water and
The
throw it
water,
after them.
the water would have clean itself. We black, you'll see, they'll come out brown skin instead of whitey.
You hear that? Beloved, I heard that. But Tim Morris said that, that's a super, that's saying that.
Well, that was the thing. I want to call and go see the water.
You hear it?
When they got to say, you got your earring in it, you must articulate.
Beloved, I heard it. Well, wait, please.
If you don't like it, there's a door you may leave or you may go.
Oh, my Lord. So, my dad, I go have to share this program with you, son. You said, so they why you to be like what they call you supposed to be for G, so you could be flower.
And they are listening, man.
I know. You understand? Right. Well, you remember Bass Pete?
You know me, man. That's the family.
What they call it?
You know, I get my the crib that
You hear it? You hear
that
it?
everybody think that crib laugh with, man.
Well, you hear it? Well, but that is the kind of thing that's already in my mind when they call it. His daughter now talking about they want to shut down Stanley Jacobs. What mean?
I will listen to you.
Yeah, but that right, man. Because this is Stanley start the group, and this is Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights. Now you're gonna put it in history or make the path for them, and you're gonna leave out
Oh,
Stanley.
that's the question was asked. That came to my mind. I didn't get to hear the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
But I said I gonna ask you if they're blacking the name after the Olympic.
yeah. That is what this how what's supposed to be happening is that the park there and Olympic Park, Olympic and King Street in Christiansted,
Yeah,
okay?
next about the bank then.
Right, okay. So that they want to change that name to now 10 sleepless nights,
Yeah.
you know. And she's saying, and I agree with her 100%, how are we going to do that and leave out Stanley?
Right.
You know, we know to Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights. No, it is TSK,
That's what I want to put on all the time.
you know.
And then man said no. That's it. They want to put Stanley intensive like period.
Thank you,
What just the initial.
thank you.
And that ain't right.
But that's what I said, that's what but Super Dad, why we will do this thing to ourselves?
You know.
Why we will do this thing to ourselves?
But they could name Olympic Park.
You know.
Why can't name Stanley intensive best day park?
Thank you. Hey,
Hey, and I put up 10 rum battle too.
but stop it, man. Pastor One, I will let you go because you look at you properly wind up to know you give me a trouble here
But
today.
I talked to you for a while, man.
Yeah, so you let it alcohol no.
Eh?
So you let it alcohol no.
Yeah, because when I try to get there, I can't get it.
You hear it?
You got super colors, you know.
Beloved, I hear it.
It's just a little, you know.
I know you are little, you know. I know.
Yeah, King Street,
That,
ragamuffin, no?
you don't know. Yes, sir. Beloved, I have to know how this man does operate. And when he is in charge from the time the mayor of the town passed away. Because we couldn't take it away, just like how you can't take Stanley from the Sleepless Night, you couldn't take Clifford away from Frederickston. So we let it rest it down, with the day. But once he gone, it's Super Dad take over now. I have to get my passport stamped from Super Dad so that I could come out of Cahoon to come and visit my relatives then in Very State. I got to get, I have to get the passport stamped.
We're working at the table,
I said, what? I go, we got the top of the hour.
I think I'll put Cahoon Falls and a little part of Creedy Dam and the new Miss Bethel Macintosh Drive and it.
I really look forward to that. I hope I live to see this one because that's like the ball field out there. That's like the ball field. That road, the Mahogany Road, they walking on that thing so long I don't know. But I get to the top of the house, so before I get to any trouble, I would Super Dad.
Later.
Good thing. Lick your cream, beloved, because that some ice cream is just so good for your soul. And we got some callers holding on here, so let's go to the door, open it, and invite them in. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your call. Thank you for your patience with me, and welcome.
Yes. So I'm calling about the story I heard on another talk show this morning. Was it talk show or news? One of the two.
Okay.
And then I looked it up afterwards to get more detail. And this is about this 14-year-old boy in Wyoming who got in an argument with his mother about a tablet that he stole from one of her customers.
A
Apparently,
tablet? What did he stole? A tablet, you said?
yeah, like an iPad. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
a tablet. Okay, yeah,
Right.
okay.
So apparently she does something, I think she cleans homes. And he was in the house with her and he stole one of her clients' tablets.
Got you.
And so they got in an argument about it. Yeah, she, of course, was upset. And she called him retarded and a thief. And so he went to his bedroom and got her gun, that she normally keeps in her car, but he had taken it out of the car and put it in his bedroom a week prior to this, because they got into an argument about him not doing his math homework. So a week prior, they got into an argument about him not doing his math homework, and from then he was contemplating killing her. He went and got the gun from her car and put it in his bedroom. Then a week later, this thing about the tablet came up. She called him retarded and a thief, and he got upset about that and went and got the gun and then shot her in the back of the head. And his father was downstairs in the basement, but he just heard a pop because he had some noise canceling earphones in, so he didn't really hear the loud noise. We went up, but in any case, he went upstairs and found the mother dead. The 14-year-old first was trying to say that she killed herself, that it was a suicide. But when the police came and they investigated and stuff, where she was shot in the back of the head, suicide didn't make sense. And so upon questioning him some more, he finally told the truth as to what happened.
What a tragedy. What a tragedy.
But this is the kind of world we live in. It is surprising to me because one of the things that I find is that this generation, the younger generation, Gen Z, they are very sensitive. Things that we would just brush off, they are obsessed with for the whole day. So his mother called him retarded and a thief. I mean, we used to call, when we were younger and stuff, we called it in elementary school, we used to be calling each other retarded all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody really took it as anything because everybody was called that. But I think that's one thing. In us trying to protect our children, we have harmed them. So the schools now, you can't call anybody retarded anymore. And so now when those words are used, they get all upset about it. Because I guess it's not used. It's not the thing. They're not. I said, well, everybody was called retarded. So if somebody called you retarded, you just brush it off because everybody was called that. It really wasn't any much of an insult. But now it can get you killed.
That's. I can't think of anything more tragic than what you just told me. But a young man could be so offended that he could, shoot his mother in the back of the head. That's beyond everything to me, man. But like you said,
there was no way he could have looked at that situation and think that he was in the right.
Yeah.
He jeopardized his
Yeah.
Now it's gone. Who else would have taken it? I'm sure that's why she called it retarded. That was a dumb thing to do, jeopardizing her income, which help support them.
Yeah.
You know,
like I said, I can't at the moment think of anything, more tragic than that, man, because like it says, he's got his whole life ahead of him, whether it's in institutions or whatever his life uh, is going to be. Uh, I don't know, but he's going to wake up
it's
one
really
day.
because those are the kind of decisions he's making.
Yeah.
Life is going to be extremely hard for him because he's going to make a lot of dumb decisions that gets him in trouble.
Yeah.
From Steve.
That's if he has that opportunity, because that is just it. I mean, I'm sure that as we speak, he is now under some authorities in some kind of institution, and I said, I don't know, what is for the rest of his life. But I mean, when you can shoot your mother the back of her head, I mean, for this, I mean,
she called you dumb and a thief, which you are a thief because you stole the iPad.
Yeah.
And it was a dumb thing, a really dumb thing. He could not have thought that out.
Yeah.
That was a really stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
And she calls you on it, and instead of just apologizing and realizing, okay, yes, that really was a dumb thing for me to do, and I'm sorry. You're gonna go get the gun that you had hidden in the room, and you had it hidden in the room because she got an argument about doing your math homework, which is again something that you're supposed to be doing. It is helpful. It helps you think things out.
But it speaks to his consciousness already being impaired. Let's put it that way. That he could. That's what he was thinking. And I don't know, but shooting your mom in the back of my head.
Those are the kind of decisions he's making. He is going to find himself in a lot of problems if he makes those kind of decisions in prison. It's questionable if he could survive it.
Well, again, he's made quite a few stupid decisions already, but this was the dumbest of them all, and I don't know if he could ever overcome this, man. It's gonna dawn on him one day that
kind of thinking that some of our young people have developed, and again, I find it's a failure of the education system. Of course, it's a failure of the parents, but the government, the chance that they get to catch the students or the young people whose parents are just not giving them what they need, or their neighborhood or whatever, the only chance that the government gets before prison is the schools. You have them from kindergarten, from 5 years old to 18 years old. I mean, I guess they could drop out at 16. So that's 11 years you have a chance to save them.
I know, but well, it's not like the Virgin Islands school system is the one that has fallen apart. The entire public school system of the United States of America is continuously, falling behind other developed countries' education system. And well, you have the last word because I got another call holding on it.
Well, that's just it. That the government has that one opportunity from the time they're 5 to the time they're 16, 11 years, to try to get them. It's not school isn't supposed to just be about academics. It's also supposed to be about social. For children to learn how to interact in a classroom.
Yes, but as you very well know, and this I get this from reading. I don't know what is said on social media and whatnot, but just from reading, I'm told that the education system, itself, is at fault according to many people, uh, well, in government, and that it is much better off if we just cut back on the federal uh, budget for education, and maybe we could do like what, because I read this recently. Trump wants to have a $1.5 trillion budget, $1.5 trillion budget for the Defense Department.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
And that's the kind of education that we need to be, to make sure that we have the power to keep everybody in line. And that's all the education that we need.
How are you going to operate when your soldiers are not being taught and not understand?
Well, we haven't thought about that yet.
High school and elementary school. What you gonna be left with to train?
We haven't thought about that yet, but give us $1.5 trillion and we'll work on it.
That's well thought out, just as well as his attack on Iran.
Tell me about it.
Now, but we were talking about the Strait of Hormuz.
I know, but I gotta call. I gotta call a hold of it. I gotta call a hold. All right, please, yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Pleasant good afternoon.
And to you, thank you so much for your patience. Welcome.
Thank you, and happy Virgin Islands History Month.
Happy Tuesday to you.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the history question. I wish I would like for you to recommend what books I could get this kind of information from.
What kind of information you talking about?
To answer the question.
Oh well, no, I don't get it from any one book. I read a lot, and sometimes it's like you wouldn't believe it, but this morning, and somewhere down the line, I probably asked a question out of it. I was reading this book about Sir John Hawkins, and who was described as the slaver of Queen Elizabeth, and she had given him the good ship Jesus, to transport some enslaved Africans from the west coast of Africa to the West Indies. And yes, and I'm reading about that and the issues that they had with some people in what was then known as Hispaniola. We know it now as the Dominican Republic. But I'm just saying that yet I read all kinds of stuff, and just, hey, what can I tell you? But the question today will take you to a king of France that they refer to as the Great. Matter of fact, the Great Louis XIV, King of France. Well, today's history question has to do with him. So you could wonder, what? And Louis XIV, what does he have to do with St. Croix?
Okay. Well, I do read a lot, and I have in my possession, I have the Amblibica card by Judge Harold Willer, and then I have the closer look at Emancipation 1848 by Kathleen. And
well, there you just keep reading. That's how. Just keep reading. I mean, I think I'm a lot older than you, so you got a way to catch up with me yet,
Yeah, well, I'm intrigued. I love history.
Good.
But I heard about that case the mother. And
oh, that's such a tragedy.
It's a tragedy, but you know, killing has been occurring, and often the victim is known by the perpetrator. I heard that domestic violence has increased in the Virgin Islands, and you know, it's really tragic. But we had from the beginning of recording, if you could call it, history. It's not really a history book, the Bible. It has some historical aspects to it. But from the beginning, we see with Cain and Abel, killings have been going on, and there's a hypocrisy. We expect the children not to kill, yet we have the adults and we have the leaders of government, like the warmonger Trump doing it. So what message we sending? We send a mixed message. And you heard that Trump is now offering to recruit convicted individuals, except those convicted of rape and murder.
So let me interrupt you. Trump is trying to recruit people for what?
To join the military.
Oh, to join the military? Oh.
Yes. You heard about that?
No.
Yes.
But I heard that he.
Not only that, the record will be expunged.
Wow.
So
well, but I have read that he had 5 different occasions, you know, avoided the draft by saying that he had bone spurs in his feet.
Well, so that's what they want now, to train killers to go out and kill. But ironically, they don't want killers.
Wow.
But they want to turn people into killers. So I don't know what kind of message that is sending to the young people. But join the military and you could go out there and kill. But you have to be physically fit.
Well, what I have read, you know, along these lines that you were explaining here, was not really about the military, but and this is maybe more than a month ago I read this, but this had to do with what they call the Immigration and Customs Inspection, ICE, that they're recruiting people to join ICE, and that you get a sign-in bonus of up to $50,000 and $60,000 just to sign up. And again, it doesn't.
400 feet, turn left onto Vester Gate. You know, like I said, will be on the right. We want to send a good message to the young people, but if that is it, how you could resolve conflict is 2 wars, then what we expect from the young people, they're just emulating the adults and world leaders. But anyway, thanks for the time. I will call back.
We look forward to it. Take care now.
Investigation is on.
Yes, beloved, but no, what the caller was saying there about the military, right? I recall reading something similar, but it wasn't recruiting for the military, it was recruiting for this thing called ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And that, again, they were actually, you know, paying bonus for you signing up to become a member of this ICE. And this is, well, as a result of, I don't know, I guess, but overstating the case. They killed, I'm trying to recall the woman's name, just to help me. Good, yes, Renee Good. It was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Uh, again, this is it's the same ICE people that they're recruited to supposedly, well, that's what the initial stands for, is the acronym ICE, Immigrations, Customs Enforcement. Uh, and they are supposedly rounding up illegal aliens in America, and who's, according to how I read it, they're talking about hundreds of thousands of people that they have to well, to round up and get out of the country, because there's as many as, I don't remember now, but they were talking about, in the millions, hundreds of thousands of people who were, in the United States illegally. But it's primarily people of color. We're calling them the brown people and the browning of America and all of this kind of stuff. But I don't know, but beloved, it's strange time that we're living in here with President Trump. Well, being whoever he is, I don't know. But beloved, let me once again remind you that Armstrong Ice Cream is going to be closed for 2 weeks, starting next week. So they would be closing from the 23rd, which would be next week, Monday. And they'll be back on the 7th of April, 7th of April. And then the other thing with this, again, we'll be talking more about this as we get closer to it, but Sister Aisha and the Make a Move Committee presenting the 12th annual march and program, Our Loved Ones Are Alive in Our Hearts. So, beloved, Sister Aisha is once again inviting us all for, that would be Sunday, April 12th, would be the 12th annual march and program, which will start at noon from the Frederick Fish Market down Strand Street to Buddha Park, where the program will start at 1 p.m. And Sister Aisha says, let's help reduce the level of crime, stop the violence and ignorance. And this is Sister Aisha and the Make a Move Committee. And that will be in place, that's very good, at Rasbach and Empress Aima will be featured on that day. But right now, well, let us take this. Let me just have you once again, because Armstrong Ice Cream is going to be closed for 2 weeks. I said, this is the week that you should be getting some extra ice cream to put in your freezer, so you don't have to go there for 2 weeks without any stress relief. lick your cream because some ice cream is just so good for you. So, all right. And beloved, yes, got some people knocking at the door, and so come with me. Let us invite them in. Good afternoon to you.
Sorry to call you back.
You don't be sorry.
This weekend is Easter.
This weekend? No, man, not already.
Eh?
No, weekend after that.
After when? April?
Yeah, the first weekend April is Easter. Yeah, that's how I remember it. Yeah. But we just don't because
So when I get a honeymoon?
you hear you. You know, I tell you, he probably wind up to the other one. We taking you out, so you.
So with
Wow.
the building in between what part I used to make casket and holy land.
Yeah.
That right?
Well, I really can't tell you that I can't do that, but I know that a lot of work going on there, but I don't know. I don't know if it's new owners or what. I don't know, Mister.
Well, somebody buy wealth.
Well, that's how it seemed to me, but I can't tell you that for sure. I don't know.
No, but waiting them man fixing their place.
Okay.
But I was in between if they looked up if they're buying. That's a question.
Okay.
We're looking for planting to sell to build back the place or whatever. Second portion, teenager with planting in it. I hope to the right thing.
Beloved, this is the man. You can't go in this Axian unless you get permission. No, he properly went up here to that river. He don't take it over the whole. I mean, he on the wrong side of the street, He on the other side of the street. Yes, sir. And because I tell you, this is a Clifford Christian guy now. He let me to know now, you understand, who planted what and after. I don't know what the people planted.
They got to forget that that's what bad extreme started that year. What did they know?
No, they know. No, you could tell them. You
could
could
have tell date. Could have tell date and day had a big day 3 days. Look at it again, no?
So, yeah, I remember the day 3. I remember what they call it. Used to be in the hospital yard.
Yeah.
That's long before we had a clinic. We had a big day 3 in the yard there.
Yeah. And now you see how the government are waste, right?
Yeah.
They never tell you this before. What about the wick? Right? They modernize downstairs, right?
Yeah.
And then fix the roof. And the whole place flood out.
Well, what they call it? Well, that's because they're so smart and intelligent.
Right. So that should have been a place that they have fixed and named back for this leader shelter.
Should have been, like you said. Should have been.
Yeah, because remember the one in Sunshine Mall that closed down?
Yeah.
And that's the same problem that the clinic itself have now for the the people who have a little problem. Right? That by that to work, Princess to work. Kind of the place when they have flood out that time, the place came poorly now.
Mm-hmm.
That brand new place.
Yeah.
And they got the place went by you back. No, you buy in Puerto Rico, I forget. They fixed downstairs so when they made in the clinic. Went from a 1-story
yes.
to a 2-story and only got one that went on 2.
So, well, we want like so bad.
And then the hospital itself, all the money got to where the guy ain't using it.
No.
And they fixed 2 stories out of that building. They had 3 or 4 stories, right?
I know it was 3 stories for sure.
But the whole top, the top itself,
yeah.
I think I'm falling now.
Yeah, it's only about that time. Yeah.
You know why our fire department don't check that out now?
Our fire department, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well.
Again, man.
You properly wind up in the stage there. You know, who are you, Mr. Absoliani, Mr. Mino?
Because you send a lot of rain down here.
But that's good.
You feel sorry for we so send some nice sure keep the place cool, but I ain't like that wind too much though.
Yeah, it probably would be.
I like that part, but not everything cool.
All right, but go take man.
I hope you work at Tamman building next.
Let me see.
All right, let me go next. What about Kendrick?
He good, man. He good.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mario.
Good afternoon, Mr. William. Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Mario.
Talk to me.
You know, I'm a disabled person, right?
Okay.
So I've been away for 30 years.
Uh-huh.
And I come back.
Yeah.
With some friends.
Yeah.
Because I like to talk about tourists and whatever. I come back and say, listen, I want to see this beautiful park with the 10 sleepless nights. Like, we're looking for it, can't find it. I said, but wait, it's right there. They said, no. He said, there's a potential. I said, no, I got to say, standing on the 10 sleepless nights.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Because I took in, I know them have 10 sleepless nights, standing on the 10 sleepless nights. That's not 10 sleepless nights.
Right.
I got the people that are wrong in a circle. That's crazy.
Well,
and again, we don't talk about the Paris Joseph Stadium. I said, listen, I want to go to the Paris Joseph Stadium. What are they going to call it now? The stadium?
So,
They're going to take out the Paris Joseph. So I'm looking for the Paris Joseph Stadium. So now we see some kind of stadium there. So no, it's Paris Joseph. You see what I'm talking about, Mario?
I see, and I can't tell you, what name they go give? I can't tell you if it go ever finish. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, uh, that is where we stand, and we don't know. Uh, well, we don't know what to expect. This is how we start the program this afternoon with this matter of what they call they want to rename the park of the Christian Center, but they want to name it TSK.
What's that?
Well, that's it. All of a sudden now, Stanley ain't good enough to be it. So there's Stanley on the 10 sleepless nights anymore. The TSK now. 10 sleepless nights, Stanley got a bush.
But you understand what I mean? I know them as Stanley and the Sleepless Nights.
But all are we?
That's what I'm looking for.
Well, all are we supposed to? And that's what we're saying from earlier.
Can't find it.
Mr. Williams, I don't know why we just do this to ourselves. And we just allow the government to do this to us. And we take it out at each other. But like right here, we supposed to be telling the government straight up, listen, if you're going to change the name, do not change it to not TSK. It is not 10 sleepless nights. It is Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights. That's how we know it. That's how we want it to be. You know? And the fact is that everybody has been crying out that. You know, you have to be really, really, really young because this in recent times, you know, that this TSK thing coming into play and leaving out Stanley. But from the 60s, come up all through the year is Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights.
So Mario, how much are our people in the island? And they come back.
Yeah.
Looking for the spark. That's why I want to be honest. And that's what my point is like.
Yeah.
How could you find it if you don't see Stanley there? You go past it, Mario.
Yeah.
Because you know that Stanley. No, that's not it. Where's the Stanley?
You tell me, but
Mario, remember back on the Playboy? So what you gonna call it? The Playboy?
that's what they're doing. And that's what they're saying. So we allowing them to do this to us. We allowing it. And that is my point is that it's time we stand up and let them know, no, we're not taking up TSK thing. It's Stanley and the 10 sleepless nights.
100%.
That's it.
Mario, before, you remember I call in and talk about the $5 million for the racer?
Yeah.
Mario, you gonna tell me I'm getting more than $5 million to just to this office for the half and quarter price? It can't be, no? It can't be $5 million just for that.
Well,
anytime you to build the stadium, and I say at least
get
the service that then man could exercise and train the hands the right way out the gate and whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I'm talking about build a state-of-the-art stadium. I'm talking about resources, make sure it's in proper condition so that man could exercise. That man could $5 million can do that?
Well, I would think so. That the 5 million could allow them to have a first class surface 7 furlong. You know, and again, I don't know what else to say to them other than that. We could be and should have been by now an integral part of horse racing in the Caribbean, which one they look at what do you call it now? There's the Caribbean Cup or something. Caribbean Classic, yeah, a Caribbean Classic, you know. But again, they forget about we because the way it seems is like we ain't gonna ever have house space in that St. Croix again. You know, and that it's a shame. But
you keep saying it's us. I believe so because what happened to the half million to do? Speak up, Mario.
thank you. Thank you.
I want them to do is fix the track. Office for them not to exercise. So if they want to go to St. Thomas, but train the half in St. Croix. Mario, you know you got a lot of local half. That can't run in St. Thomas. Up to now they can't get this for the natives. And they got no natives not raised in St. Thomas.
Well, there you
They got a
go.
lot of natives and St. Croix.
Well, there you go. There you go. But well, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that ourselves? Because, like you point out, all of these Hasman know better, but they allowing it to happen. And the more that they go along with this bullring, it's a Thomas, the more they making sure that we don't ever have house race in St. Croix again.
It's by design, I believe it. I believe it's by design.
The son.
I go to the track and I thought I was in a party in town. Some of the people that was there. So what happened to the fashion?
I don't know.
After the happy man, you got to speak up, put pressure on them.
Hey,
Get the sources ready so you can exercise your heart. Oh, I won't get in my house for St. Thomas. I'm sorry. I can't train my house on St. Croix. I ain't getting my house. I do that in my house. That's my latest. So then it's a St. Croix. I mean, Mario. And
okay.
before I go, I'm going to lick my queen because I just heard you say they're going to close. So I got to get my queen.
You have to get it this week here because they're going to be closed on for 2 weeks.
Yes, and I like that. I like the gooseberry or the lemongrass.
Oh, yeah. We're going to fight over that. Then.
That's my flavor.
All right, son.
Okay, Mario, I keep listening.
Take care, Mr. William. Take care.
All right.
But, beloved, more and more we hear it, how we allowing ourselves to be used, misused, and abused. We allowing it. And I don't know how it is that we could be, well, so confused that we don't see that we're doing this to ourselves. Beloved, this year is an election year, general election, because we're going to be electing a governor. The issues that we should be talking about and dealing with, we're talking about that. Seems like you got any politician talking about the racetrack. What's what happened with the house track? No. What about the stadium? The supposed baseball stadium down in Fredericksburg. What about that? Again, nothing. And beloved, to tell you how pitiful we find ourselves in here is that I have to tell you, these are supposed to be secondary issues. The racetrack and the baseball stadium, they're supposed to be secondary. primary issues of this be the hospital, healthcare. That's primary. Education. What happened to Board Prela 48, 44 to teach Virgin Islands history? What happened to that? Because education and healthcare, these supposed to be the primary issues in our community. We don't have a hospital. And beloved, you might not want to hear it, but we really don't have an education system. Because it is the education system itself that already report that this is more than 5 years ago now, that the proficiency rating of our school system is 3 years behind. Meaning that when we graduate students from Central High School and the complex from 12th grade, according to the proficiency rating, those graduates have a 9th grade education. Imagine that, a 9th grade education. And we know it to be the fact because, beloved, when you graduate and try to go to UVI, beloved, you just have to take remedial courses because even though you graduate from 12th grade, whether it is the complex or Central High, the proficiency rating have you 3 school grades behind. So when you think you graduated from 12th grade, and you got to the 9th grade education, Lord Harry, the judgment of it. All right. You tell me. You tell me, why why we just do this to ourselves? Tell me. Good afternoon.
Good day, Mario.
Thank you for your call, man. Welcome.
Yeah, my blessed. Happy New Year, even though we don't have March. I excited on since last year. Hey, listen to you. You got, I got them come and call it going over here, Mr. William. Is he the same person that used to own the rest of his banking back in the days?
No,
Would you know?
no, I don't know. I don't know that I can.
No, I'm asking you. Okay, no, I'm asking you. Okay, because Mr. Williams was, he used to run Rex. I was just saying, what? You know, them, still living with. You all right?
Yeah. Well, I can't answer that question there. I know.
No, I just want to know if it was the same Mr. Williams.
That and I can't answer it.
Well, you know, Mr. Williams back in the day for Rex.
Yeah.
The easy Jerry Brown. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, stop. Yeah. All right, so I'll leave her. Let us speak.
Okay, good thing.
All right, one more time. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Jerry Brown, I went, I don't know, son, but well, anyhow, beloved, we're the top of the hour, so we getting ready now to head to the bottom of the 12 o'clock hour for the crucial history question for today, and already I give up more than I usually do because a caller asked me, and we did point out that yes, today's question I'm going to have to deal with the great Louis the 14th, King of France, and I guess we'll find out well how he get in crucial history that we don't well. I don't know, but I don't think we just teach that in our schools here at there. But as you'll find out today, yes, uh, the great Louis the 14th, King of France, you know, have to do with our history right after in St. Croix, and we're going to be finding out about that in the next half an hour. But for now, all we say to you, beloved, is that Armstrong Ice Cream is going to be closed from this weekend. In other words, when they close Sunday coming here, they will close Mondays, and they have it would be 2 weeks before they come back, and it would be the seventh of April when Armstrong Ice Cream come back. So, beloved, this is a good time to get some extra Armstrong ice cream put in your freezer so that you have your stress relief to take you through the next 2 weeks. Lick your cream, beloved, because Armstrong ice cream is just so good for your soul. And beloved, well, I just got the news. So I'm sharing it with you. Yes, I will be here tomorrow. Uh, my one and only sister sent the word to the office that, you know, I could very well announce that I will be here tomorrow sitting in for her because the the Board of Education, they got some kind of emergency, something or the other. But as a result, she will not be able to do her program. So she is sending a word to the office here to let me know that yes, uh, we we will be sitting in for my one and only sister again tomorrow. So, uh, well, I don't know how else to put it other than that. It was not expected, but here it is. Well, let me one time let you again know that Armstrong Ice Cream is going to be closed for 2 weeks. They're gonna have 2 week break, and so when they close Sunday, this coming Sunday would be the 22nd. Yeah. All right. So when they close Sunday the 22nd, Monday is the day off. So you would have been expecting them to be closed on the 23rd. But the 23rd also marks the beginning of the 2 week break. So they will not be back until the 7th of April. But again, the 7th of April would be the Monday. So that would be the day that they would ordinarily be closed. So it will be the 8th, Tuesday, the 8th of April will be the day that Armstrong Ice Cream reopens after the 2 week break. What else I got to say? Oh, well, let me continue to recruit you to let Senator Kenny Gittins know that we are hoping and even praying that Senator Gittins don't forget us and that they will get to have a meeting, a sit down meeting with the CEO of Armstrong Ice Cream, that's Mr. Cedric Armstrong, and beloved, I don't see it as any monumental task to accomplish because uh, hey, all we're talking about is packaging the ice cream. The ice cream is already made. The ice cream is already the favorite ice cream of St. Croix. There ain't no question about that. But there's a problem. And what is that problem? That it is only available at the ice cream store on Queen Mary Highway, just east of the Campo Rico Shanty. And ice cream, in the meantime, is being sold, man, beloved, everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, there's there's a gas station now uh, by Hannah's Rest. There's a gas station right there at that Campo Rico intersection, and then there's another gas station up at the uh, Concordia Wim intersection there. So that the three gas stations just within a mile. And beloved, when Armstrong ice cream is closed, whether it's because it's a Monday the day they close, or just simply that it's others after 7 o'clock in the evening. So it's 8 o'clock any night. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. People out and about. They feel like they want to eat some ice cream. Well, unless they have some Armstrong ice cream in the freezer, as we advise them to do, unless you have that, you can't get no Armstrong ice cream until the next day when they open. And that is the issue that we try to deal with. And beloved, it ain't like there's some kind of opposition to Armstrong ice cream getting packaged. I tell you, enough time already, beloved. I personally spoke with Senator Kenneth Gittins. Senator Gittins is 100% on board. He agrees, yes, this is a good thing. And it definitely be a good thing to have Armstrong ice cream packaged so that it could be sold, well, wherever ice cream is sold. And that's the point I'm making here, that, beloved, ice cream is sold all over this island. Not just the big supermarket, not just the grocery stores, but every gas station on this island does sell ice cream. Every gas station. And you wanted me Is that a pity? It is a pity that the favorite ice cream, the one and only ice cream that people here would choose if they had a choice, that is the one ice cream that is not available like all the others. And that's unbelievable. But that's why we need to recruit your beloved. Wherever you see Senator Gittins, wherever you run into him, greet him. And after you greet him, just kindly, graciously ask the senator if he has spoken with Armstrong Ice Cream. That's the issue. Because, beloved, that's how I see the situation unfolding. That if we could just get Senator Gittins, because he is the one who proposed the resolution to honor Armstrong Ice Cream. And let me say it again because it is Senator Gittins that gave me this copy of the resolution, you know. And beloved, here is what the bill summary says. This is bill number 36-0227. A resolution honoring and commending the Armstrong family. Beloved, the bill honors and commends the Armstrong family for the outstanding service, entrepreneurial spirit, and exceptional contributions to the economic growth and development of the Virgin Islands through the continued operation of Armstrong Ice Cream. Now, beloved, this is what got me to realizing that this is a good start to recognize Armstrong Ice Cream and the Armstrong family. That's a good start. But it's just that, just a start. Because, beloved, Armstrong Ice Cream should be the number one ice cream on St. Croix. Not just as a favorite for the people of St. Croix, but it should be number one in terms of sales. That Armstrong Ice Cream should be the number one selling ice cream on St. Croix. And that is where the inside out cultivation comes into it, beloved. Why are we going to waste such an opportunity to deliver on inside out cultivation. All the elements are already there. For over 100 years, the Armstrong family been giving us, like it says, the outstanding service, the entrepreneurial spirit, and the exceptional contributions to the economic growth and development of the Virgin Islands. Beloved, these are the words in the resolution for Armstrong Ice Cream. And is that true? You ain't gonna find no argument against Armstrong Ice Cream. You ain't gonna find no one opposing having Armstrong Ice Cream packaged so that they could be sold everywhere ice cream is sold at St. Croix. And you would think that this would be enough to get our government and to get representatives like Senator Gittins to, instead of just honoring the Armstrong family with a resolution, to just make that the start and let it be completed with whatever it takes for Senator Gittins and CEO Cedric Armstrong, whatever it takes for them to sit down and work out what would be an outline of a foundation that would have the government, one way or the other. That's for them to work it out. But to have the government help Armstrong Ice Cream to get packaging. So the ice cream could be packaged and sold everywhere ice cream is sold on St. Croix. And beloved, I don't see that as nothing more than a very inviting challenge. I don't see that as problematic at all. I don't see any issues that would hold that back. And I would invite anyone, whosoever thinks that it will be a problem to have Armstrong Ice Cream packaged. Well, beloved, tell us about it. I, for one, would be very interested to hear that. I would very much want to hear how it is that packaging Armstrong ice cream would be a problem. How could that be a negative issue rather than a positive contribution to the economy of St. Croix? And that's why, well, it's beyond me. I just can't comprehend, beloved. I can't comprehend why it is an issue and why it's taking since that I getting this long. I thought that by now he would have already had a sit down meeting with Mr. Cedric Armstrong and how they could work this thing out, because that's all it takes, beloved. That's all it takes. You know, how can government and Armstrong ice cream work together so that the ice cream could be packaged and be able to be sold wherever Armstrong ice cream is? Let's say wherever Armstrong ice cream, but so that Armstrong ice cream could be packaged and sold wherever ice cream is sold here on St. Croix. And we already answered that question because, beloved, we know that ice cream is sold and all over St. Croix. Not just in the supermarkets, not just in the grocery stores, but in every gas station on St. Croix. And beloved, hit me up. St. Croix don't have one or two gas stations. We have a lot of gas stations here at St. Croix. A lot of gas stations. And every gas station have at the very least a small freezer selling ice cream. And that's all that we asking. That Armstrong ice cream be packaged so that it can be in these freezers in all of these gas stations, along with, well, the shelves that have all these other ice creams in supermarket. We got all kind of ice cream selling in these supermarkets. And my point is that, beloved, whichever ice cream you want to promote, whichever, because you have, man, well, all kind of ice cream. All I am saying is that right here on St. Croix, there is no ice cream that is more favored, more liked, more wanted than Armstrong ice cream. And yet, beloved, we have a bill number 36-0227, that is proposed by Senator Kenneth L. Gittins. And it's a resolution honoring and commending the Armstrong family. And now we're saying, beloved, is that, hey, that's an excellent start. And we congratulate Senator Gittins for proposing this resolution. But Lord Harry, the judgment. Said, Lord Harry, the judge, help me out there. Why we want to settle on just a resolution? Why we have to settle on just a resolution? Just settle and commending the Armstrong family. Have the legislature pass this resolution to commend it. You tell me, beloved, you tell me, is that enough? Is that enough? Inside out cultivation, beloved. Why wouldn't the government, the same way that the government has helped any number of industries? I've talked about it more than enough times. Matter of fact, in the 1960s, beloved, is the government of the Virgin Islands that helped us to have a thing called Harvey Alumina Refinery, where they were making alumina from bauxite. And it's our government that helped make that happen. Harvey Alumina, that they even had to have a Harvey housing project because of how many people that they brought to St. Croix to work for Harvey Alumina. You had to have Harvey housing. And beloved, it wasn't just Harvey. What about Hess Oil Refinery? Again, didn't the government help Hess Oil Refinery to be established here in St. Croix? Help me out, tell the truth. Just like they help Harvey Alumina, the government helped Hess Oil Refinery to get established here in St. Croix. Beloved, how could they now not see the benefit, the tremendous benefit that would be accomplished by having Armstrong ice cream packaged so it could be sold wherever ice cream is sold. Beloved, it's something that should have happened a long time ago. But right now, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're getting ready for a crucial history question. Let me see. Yes, beautiful Aisha is taking her place in the center stage. So, beloved, we're going to take this break and come back with our crucial history question. Lick your cream, because I'm some ice cream is just so good for your soul. And we are ready for our crucial history question. I see beautiful Aisha. She is center stage, ready to compliment the winner. Because, beloved, she is the one that gave me the instructions. And my instructions is to come up with a crucial history question. For you, my beloved answer, my beloved and beloved. What's wrong with my mouth now? But yes, I am instructed to come up with a crucial history question so that my beloved audience would come up with the correct answer and get complimented by beautiful Aisha with a full quart of your favorite flavor of Amsham ice cream. So, beloved, if you are ready, I am ready. I already told you that this has to do with the great, that's what they call him, the great Louis the 14th, King of France. And you might ask, well, Mario, what the King of France had to do with we in St. Croix? Well, This is just it, beloved. And it makes me wonder if the great Louis XIV was actually establishing a template. And by establishing a template, I mean like setting an example for the likes of Donald Trump, the President of the United States, to follow. And you said, oh, what? What are you talking about, Mario? I said, because this is just it. Beloved, the great Louis XIV, King of France, had made up his mind that he wanted to take St. Croix and the rest of the islands that were under the Knights of Malta. And he wanted to take them. And that's what I mean by that. So here we are now. 400 years later. 400 years later. You got the President of the United States, Donald Trump. He wants to take people country and take them over because he wants to show that how big and powerful he is. Well, this is what it seemed like at the time. But this was the 17th century, beloved. The 17th century. And this was in the year 1664. 1664. The great Louis XIV, King of France, took St. Croix from the Knights of Malta and says, St. Croix, you are now a part of the French West Indies. No longer a part of the Knights of Malta. But beloved, he didn't stop there. And this is why I said maybe we're setting a template for President Trump. Because St. Croix was the big one. Wanted to bring St. Croix into the French West Indies. But beloved, there were 3 other islands. That's right, 3. 1, 2, 3 of them. There were 3 other islands that he, Louis XIV, King of France, took from the Knights of Malta and brought them on like St. Croix onto the French West Indies. So here is the question for you. In 1664, the great Louis XIV, King of France, took 4 islands away from the Knights of Malta. The big one being St. Croix. But there were 3 others And that, beloved, is what we leave in your lap. For you to tell us who the other 3 islands were. Name them. We want you to name the 3 other islands that King Louis XIV took away from the Knights of Malta along with St. Croix. Help me out. There was a total of 4 islands. St. Croix was the big one, but there were 3 others. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
Talk to me. I'm looking for the name of 3 islands.
Okay, let's go St. Kitts, St. Martin, St. Barts.
What your name is?
Shang.
Why? I could see your father smiling up at me and say, Mario, I tell you, you think that you alone interested in knowing about our history around here? So you are Michael Shang.
Yes, sir.
I just be proud, If it was on TV or something, smiling from ear to ear here.
Yeah.
And I said, Lord Harry the Judge, your father used to tell me, Mario, come and harass me again. You understand? Because some people, that's what your father used to say, we used to consider he been in the basement because where his office was. But let me tell you, I learned more from that man. You hear that? Oh, my Lord. But, beloved, he is the man that should have been the commissioner of education in these Marshall Islands. We would have been so much better off.
Well, he asked him what to do. He's recorded these tax assessors and a couple of other things at the time.
He could handle it. The man head was big. You hear what they call it. And I say that because I would sit down in the office and I could just, well, at the time, I was so fascinated. It's like, Lord, how he could remember all of these things and know all of these things, And he, more than anything, he motivated me, my son. You understand? That now I have people asking me the kind of question. I said, listen, if you had only known a man named Mr. Owen Shang, you understand? You would see that I is nothing compared to him. You understand? But beloved, Michael Shang, his father's son, gave us the correct answer. The islands were St. Barts, St. Kitts, and St. Martin. And matter of fact, you understand? Just because I want to show off now to Michael Shang that I did learn from his father. At the time, he would not say St. Kitts. You know what he say?
St. Christopher.
Ay. Beloved, he making his father proud, He making his father proud. That is what.
Same thing about St. Barts, too.
Thank you. St. Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, you make my day, man. You make my day. You make my day. Beloved, Michael Shang, is his father's son. And I wonder now, what flavor of Amsterdam ice cream is going to have you making?
Gooseberry will be fine.
Here you know. He said, gooseberry will be fine. Michael Shang, you make my day, man. You make my day. You understand? You've been there listening and he says, aha, I got him. Beloved, the question was Louis XIV. He was the king of France from about the middle of the 17th century until early in the 18th century, because by the time France had done turn around now and sell us to Denmark, Louis XIV would have done that. He died early in the 18th century. But again, this is the man who took us away from the Knights of Malta because the Chevalier de Poissy had given us to the Knights of Malta. What do they call it? Congratulations, Michael Shank. Congratulations to you. And I say, hey, you make your father proud, and you definitely put a big smile on my face, hey, son. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
You are our scholar for the day. Congratulations. Enjoy your gooseberry ice cream.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All the best. Okay. Good afternoon to you.
Angel.
Who you coming with? Who you coming with now?
I'm coming to answer the question.
You don't know.
Yeah, the other God, St. Christ, St. Bob, St. Martin, and St. Robin. Somebody came already?
Beloved, I thought I was Sumada, and he control not only the Saxian, he control Felixton. And he got that.
Why is it illegal?
You do not be illegal, you got it, yeah. You the man. You super dad or you could be illegal.
Oh, hey,
But Michael Shang beat you.
Somebody win it already?
Michael Shang beat you.
Hey, I got to dog this father, right? This father teach me a lot about these properties and things. and then the feed me good and thing. I know it. Anyway, that's a good man. That's a good man.
You see, it is just you and me like St. Croix. We got other people that got love for St. Croix, even if they good for nothing them that we got in charge of the place. They don't care enough about us to celebrate St. Croix.
They know about them. They know about good people. Yeah, that's my father teach me how to, when I was doing inspection, I had to find some property, man.
Yeah.
That's a guy there.
Mr. Owen Shank, my son.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good.
That place over there, right?
Where?
We say the bar park. That's a prison.
My son. That's a guy. Man tell me, said, listen, no professional would call that a ballpark. Not even that's a trip. Is that triple A league? Maybe could play in the triple A, but definitely
it'd be even hard for the type of triple A we got.
You hear that? You hear it there, beloved? You hear
hard for triple A.
What's up? And this is from way back. When it is Turnbull was in office? Around 2000?
Wrong then.
So from then to now, whatever they call it, might be that 26 years. We talk about the thing, and we still don't know when we're about. Matter of fact, it's better to have concert day than the ball game.
They said June. But then today, some tourists come off the boat, right?
Yeah.
I watch over there and say, what is that? It's supposed to be a ballpark. I said, no, that looks like a prison.
Super, that's something about it.
No, serious? Yeah, they do.
I will go along with it except for one thing.
Why the party?
No, I don't know who make the choice. But that's the brightest yellow I ever seen, my son.
Why bright too?
Bright yellow they got
What color they think for the prison bee?
Not a bright yellow,
Well, that's what it needs to be.
So, you don't give me in trouble. I ain't know for that.
Because when some people say they go to them for fire, the color they got faded. He doesn't have no pink.
Let me say one thing. Beloved, Michael Shang is the winner. Don't study Super Dad because Super Dad look like he wanted the federal government to go and lock me up. Yes, sir.
But seriously, I asked Mr. Reyes, I
Yeah.
When the thing you mentioned about St. Christ, I
Yeah.
don't forget that was the question I'm coming with.
Yeah.
This is the second day we didn't beat me with that already. Balloon.
Well, anyhow, beloved, what is my name? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The great Louis the 14th. That's what you used to call him, man. The King of France. The great Louis the 14th. And he decided, that it is time to take back our islands from the Knights of Malta.
I think it would be better we are going French, you know. Parlez-vous français?
You used to want that now. Parlez-vous français? All right, Mr. Take care of Oxyard, Mr. You take care of Oxyard, beloved. But yes, no, it make me day, man. Michael Sham make me day today because his father, that was a crucial and a half, Mr. That was a crucial and a half, Mr. Owen Chang, and the problem was that I don't know wrong with us because all of these things couldn't happen if we didn't allow them to happen. And that's what I said. This not a big election year. We got to elect a governor this year in November. And from what I hear, it is a whole heap of people running for governor, And I mean, beloved, we don't let these people just take advantage of us, man. I sir. Hold on. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mario. Good afternoon, you listening earlier.
Yes, man. Welcome to you.
My ice cream and I want it now.
Why can't Sam be your treatment, son? Yeah. But yes, the great Louis the 14th, had dealing with St. Croix, and he said, we were too big for the Knights of Malta. And he says, no, bring him back. We want St. Croix to be a part of the French West Indies because they wanted St. Croix to be the headquarters. That was another thing. And so we got so much history in this place. St. Croix was supposed to be the capital of the French West Indies.
Well, here again. Well, we could still zook it like Trump doing everything. If he could have named the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of Trump, they tell him, no, you can't do that one. Okay, well, let me the Gulf of America it is.
I mean, son. Oh, Lord.
The only closest thing we had when I was growing up was the song from Haiti, Zouk. Zouk and says, I mean, you come out for me, come alive.
Zouk.
Yeah. But I was speaking French, Mario.
Poor we, Mr. Poor we. But we got so much going for us. That's what just troubled me so much. But we got so much going for us. And yet, when election time comes, look what we just do to ourselves. Huh? Look what we just do to ourselves. I mean...
As long as we don't have the checks and balance and the government is not structured correctly, we're going to continue staying in that path.
I agree, but that all of that is part of the problem because they know this and they're going to allow that to happen and we refuse, to vote people in who would make them changes. And so I don't know, my son, I don't know.
Well, that government has to be restructured because it is not restructured and it's not going to give us the checks and balance. They do not understand that. And they're just going to stay in that path where more and more of these leaders are getting indicted. And it's not done yet, Mario. There's plenty more to come. Lord. And I've been saying that every year for some time now.
Yeah.
But you just behavior. You just look at the legislature and some other things for it.
Yeah.
They legislate against each other.
Yep.
They pass a bill against each other.
Yep.
That human your money and my money, and we need the money now.
Yeah.
So the money going to the people is about us. That's how the legislature is going on.
Shameful.
So give it to the bigger man.
Well, but how we get our people to wake up and realize that what they call it is in our hands, we could make the change. How do we get that done? That is the problem there.
Well, Mario, I will leave you with this last economic. We have yet to turn a profit for Bow Soda. It was sold twice. your grandfather, your people, your
My
family.
grandfather, Sayati, bro, yeah.
Local,
Yeah.
right? To another local.
Yes.
And then, to this white guy. And before he could turn a profit, he did everything to extract $1 million off of this man. This man tell me personally to my face. And this how they are. They charge him with this, they charge him with that.
Yeah.
And by God, before he even turn a profit, the man fall long dead. That's how they treat him.
Yeah.
And they're responsible. Because Bow Soda, the factory, everything is ready to go, everything ready to. And the man fall out.
I know.
After you extract over $1 million of his personal money, and he said, I'll be damned if I give them another percent.
Yeah.
This is how they treat him. Not just the locals, the community. They did to extract money from other people.
Yeah.
It's in contract.
Yeah.
And if I don't get a piece of this contract, you ain't getting it. You know?
Yeah.
But it's shameful and sad, Mario, because they only get indicted because you can't hide the money. The transfer, the transactions. It's always there. It's in a registry. Once you get that money,
Yeah.
it's accounted for. You may think it's not accounted for. And I'm trying to help our leaders, Mario.
I hear.
FBI, that's all they do is watch where the money departed from the treasury come all the way down. Because they know the account is right there in the treasury, and they know how much money the Virgin Islands have, and they know they have to be accounted for. And if the money is not accounted for, then it's missing. Where's it going?
Thank you.
And they just follow the trace back to the people or the people that's in charge.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. And they don't get it now because of greed. And I got to have my big cups. I want it now.
Yep.
So it brings that behavior of not who we are. You see, some people take on certain behavior to live in the community, and they wasn't raised that way, Mario. And it's shameless to know that they were getting indicted or getting in trouble over nonsense that wasn't even part of our community and our culture. Our parents and grandparents didn't stand for the behavior. And they just, as an adult, just shaming our community and as if our grandparents and our parents didn't raise them right. Or raise them to be what they are. Better individuals.
Yeah.
These are grown people, Mario. I don't know what the mindset is. I really don't know what the mindset is. But as you get older, you should know better. As you get older, you should want to know better. As you get older, you should just know damn better.
Yeah.
Need some good bull in there.
That's exactly what I would recommend. Some good bull body indeed.
Well, I know it is. My uncle clapped me one or two times. I think he won't get you me straight to the living room, straight to the back door of the house, down the block. I think it's time. Huh?
I know what I mean. Yeah.
The son, Mario, you get lick with that boy. That's like electricity just shocking your body.
Yeah.
Pow! Run to your bones.
Right.
The calf. The body will just react. That
Bull
was
body,
straight to you.
yes. Oh, Lord, boy.
We really get to find out who we are as people in the Virgin Islands. We cannot sell out to these local people that's coming here,
Right.
as our leaders done with this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Jeffrey Epstein is dead and gone, but his estate is still making money. His corporations, all these different things are making money. And every last one of the politicians from the early 90s, the Clinton administration, from 1992, after Roman Coke come out of office,
Yeah.
they have been on that path of taking money from that man. Okay? That's how long it's been going on, man. And it's still going on today. So all our local government officials had their hand in the soup. And that's what they don't want to be talking about on the radio. Because they're shame and shameless. You know? But plenty more to come, Mario.
What is it, son?
Plenty more to come.
I hear you, Miss Anna. Then I am going to keep hope alive. Like this, Jesse Jackson said. Uh, I am going to keep hope alive because I ain't got no whole heap of time left. But Lord, Harry, the judgment. I just want to see a change in government, but different kind of people in there, and I just don't know what they're going to take to get our people to wake up and realize that we could make the change. I
That's
don't,
it, Mario.
I don't know.
We always have the power. It is the people
Yeah,
against you, you know.
yeah,
And even in the local code, it's the people of the Virgin Islands against whoever.
yeah,
Okay? That is the legal form, and we have to hold that standard. We, the people, are not going to stand for this nonsense and this type of behavior. And we got to clear house, Mario. We got to clear house. But unfortunately, this thing is more powerful than us. And the rich, the power, boy,
yep,
we'll say legal government officials. That's who they're working for. And they will do anything for that money.
yep,
Or anything that
yeah,
these people tell them to do.
yeah,
As if we, the people, don't exist. And that's the reality. We have to wake up and understand how government runs and how things are farmed in the community. And kind of get back to where we come from as people, you know, our culture, our DNA, who we are as people, doing what is right.
yeah. So, another couple of months, let me see. This is March, April. After Stuart's Carnival over, you're going to hear the politics and hey, Mr. Right? Well, I ain't going to run my mouth and I just hope that we could get that change in the sun. So, I ain't giving up. Can't give up.
Well, you be blessed, Mario. And I always watch the money. That's how I was very able to understand 2008 when the biggest transfer of wealth ever in human history. We're talking about $600 trillion to $1 quadrillion was taken away from we the people, as if we don't know what was going on. So I will leave on that note, Mario. That's a
Stay strong.
Stay strong. All right. I want to be a reader. So you be blessed, Mario.
You say. Okay. Beloved, yes, we're at the top of the hour, taking a, but to take our final break, going to last lap time here, and beloved, we said to you, as always, you know, lick your cream, beloved, because Armstrong ice cream is just so good for your soul. lap, beloved. And yes, indeed, it is the last lap. And well, let me remind you because I got the word from the office. My one and only sister called to let it be known that she will not be on tomorrow. She needs me to hold the fort for one more Wednesday. So I will be on tomorrow. And what else is happening? Well, we've said that enough times already that yes, Armstrong Ice Cream will be taking a 2-week break. And so this weekend, matter of fact, Sunday would be the last day before they go on break. And my recommendation to you is that between now and Sunday, you do what your pocket allow you to do and pick up some extra Armstrong ice cream that you could put in your freezer. And I say what your pocket can allow you to do because, hey, I don't know how much extra ice cream you could buy, but I think it is worth your while. Because, beloved, the way things are going with the man that we have in the White House, in charge of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, beloved, with that man in charge, we don't know what to expect for tomorrow. From what I have been reading, it is, well, unbelievable. You have much more information than I have. But the little that I have been able to keep up with tells me that we cannot predict what President Trump is liable to do. Who would have predicted that this man would have said that the president of Venezuela was trafficking in drugs? And so the United States had to do something about it. Well, beloved, I don't have TV. I ain't got no smartphone. I ain't got no the social media stuff, but I was able to read up after the fact to learn that, beloved, President Trump, as commander-in-chief, actually had our military invade Venezuela, capture and kidnap the president of Venezuela, and actually take the man and his wife to prison in the United States. But as I have been reading, it is only after the fact that President Trump let it be known that this wasn't about no drugs, that Venezuela and the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, was not into this drug trafficking as the president says. But after the fact is when we learn that it was all about oil. Yes, beloved, all about oil. That President Trump wanted to control the oil in Venezuela. And that is what is so troubling as I read to understand what is going on, because, beloved, it seems to me that he was trying to do the same thing in Iran. Talk about Iran, that they want to have nuclear weapons and can't have that. But really, the thing about the nuclear weapons, beloved, is again, it's about oil. Iran, like Venezuela, have a lot of oil. And this seems to be what is driving President Trump. Wants to control the oil in Iran. And with Israel wanted to get rid of Iran anyhow, beloved, we have now found ourselves into, I don't know what kind of situation to call it, but it is dangerous. And I find that it's more than enough reason for us to want to have some inside out cultivation, because it should be pretty obvious that, beloved, it could happen overnight. That for whatever reason, the cruise ships that are carrying tourists back and forth in the Caribbean let's just say that something happened and they are not bringing any more cruise ships to St. Croix or to the Virgin Islands for that matter. You tell me, what condition would we find ourselves in then? And, well, I don't know, but for me, I see that as another solid reason why we should be seeing about inside out cultivation and finding ways to sustain ourselves. Not necessarily to be independent from the United States. But Lord Harry, the judge, find a way to be self-sustaining. Like I've said over and over, I said, beloved, could be a simple thing in like, hey, make us self-sufficient in eggs. Just like chicken eggs, yeah. That's like with the Armstrong ice cream thing. I mean, these are, solutions that are staring us in the face, right in front of us. But somehow our government and our representatives in government, they don't see these things. And well, I hope it don't ever come about, but beloved, it is very, very possible that we could run into a lot of trouble simply because we put all our eggs in this one basket called tourism. And they like, we own any airplane or no? We don't own no airplane. We don't own no cruise ships. And all the stores that really make money off of these tourists, the duty-free jewelry and things like that. Beloved, those stores don't belong to our people. So that the single economic benefit that we be getting from tourism, you could point to is taxis. What do you call them? Taxi, or you call them safari, you call them tour bus or whatever. Beloved, that is the single most benefit that we get from this tourist industry that is supposed to be ours. Because, like I said, we don't own no airplane, we don't own no cruise ships, we don't own no hotels, and all of these big jewelry stores and perfume stores, we don't own them. So that the benefit, if you could call it that, but the one benefit that we have is taxis, tours, safaris, and that kind of thing. That's all that we get out of our tourism, beloved. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mary. How are you doing?
Thank you, man. Try my best with it here. Welcome.
Yeah, man. Just like how you're saying, the whole tourism industry is not really geared much for locals other than taxi drivers, like you said, because there's not a major owned local hotel that exists in the Virgin Islands.
Not one. Not a one.
Not one. So it shows clearly that the emphasis for development is always on outside rather than inside.
Yeah.
And clearly, as you state, it would be wise for them to invest in the agriculture topics for the better part of the government.
True that.
But they need to realize that agriculture is not just, the 3 days in February when we have the fair. Agriculture is a 365 day event that takes place.
Right.
And unless we really grasp how important it is and look into developing it, we just chasing our tail. But the sad truth is that it just seems that there's no interest in empowering local people anymore.
But
And it seems that the cabal just see it fit to keep us as servants and beggars at their pleasure.
but that's the issue that I would like to get some help with, to understand how can we get our people to see what you and I are seeing. How can we get our people to realize that we can make a change, but we continue to vote for the same people, and somehow they expect different things to come from the same people. We get the same results, which is that we have a tourism that really doesn't benefit us. We get the crumbs that fall off the table. That's about it, because like said, we don't own no airplane, we own no cruise ships, we own no hotels. I mean,
No,
so,
none of the major infrastructure for tourism
no,
we own,
no, we don't.
But if we could tap into agriculture, then we could have a little skin in the game, because
Well, but that's why I interrupted to ask. I said, how do we get that into our people's consciousness, so that when we have the opportunity every 2 years, and this year is a big one because we're going to be elected a governor,
right.
how do we get our people to comprehend that we have the opportunity to make a change? Because, hey,
That's, I'm wondering really if they want a change, because we've been beating this drum for a long time, and it don't seem. You see, a lot of people have been disenfranchised, and it's the disenfranchised that needs to be reawakened. But that's a hard stretch, because the average voter is set. It doesn't matter blow high, blow low. They can stick with the cabal for whatever reason, because it's like, hey, what? That's what my bread is buttered on, and I ain't gonna bite the hand that feeds me.
right.
Not knowing that the hand that feeding you is it's really cutting your throat slowly.
Yeah.
That's a hard one, a really, really, really hard one, because up to this very day, there has not been any major infrastructure development for agriculture on St. Croix. They started a assistant project in St. Thomas, but from what I heard, they said they just tied some steel on the ground and they washed their hands and went home.
It's sadness of the sad. I mean,
Yes.
we have hundreds, if not thousands, of acres of land here in St. Croix, fertile land that used to grow sugar cane, and they're now just growing cassia, tantan, guinea grass. I mean, again, it don't even pay land tax. So the government itself doesn't benefit from the land of land there, because this government own land.
Yeah, they own a lot of land.
Yeah.
And a lot of the government land is productive.
That's it.
And, you know, they will say, you know, just imagine if they were supposed to do you know, like a special crop that we say, like cocoa, right?
Yeah.
Say if they were to bring in 10,000 seedlings of cocoa,
Yeah.
distribute them to farmers and individuals. In about 3 to 4 years, we're going to have a cocoa industry in the Virgin Islands.
But we don't have anybody in government thinking that way. Government is, everybody in government is on tourism. And
Yeah. And you know, because it's not empowering local people.
right,
It seems to me, and it seems clearly, that they are afraid of people being independent thinkers. And it's a shame that the people who keep supporting these individuals can't realize that they're part of the problem and not part of the solution.
it's sadness, but that's where we at. That's where we at. And I'm saying here we are.
Yeah,
I mean, what is it? What, about 8-9 months to November? You know, well, we have to a governor, governor, lieutenant governor, delegate to Congress, and 15 senators. And
right.
and if the past is prologue, we could say that after the elections over in November, it's just going to be more of the same. Because that's what we continue to do. We continue to elect the same people.
Yeah. You know, they're going to do the same thing. It's like currently right now, the government is now in the habit of paying $100,000 salaries to every time they can have.
Right?
And yet, they claim they have issues with the hospital. You know, not paying vendors.
Right.
Now, the wise man would say, you know what, we need to cut back on some of these salaries so we could put the money into healthcare so we could help the masses. You know, but you know, the big problem we have, the big system, is that it is those who have the money coerce the people who don't have the money to vote for them so they could continue getting the money. You know? And that's what's happening, you know? They're going to come up with some of the best jingles, the best commercials,
Yep.
the best campaign, and they're going to make you think that manna is going to fall from heaven
All right.
if you elect them, you know?
All right.
And, you know, then you elect them, and what they do?
More of the same.
They fix the table, for their friends, their families, and they eat lavishly,
All right.
and we get crumbled. And, you know, so clearly, I mean, there's only two sides. We are part of the problem or part of the solution.
Yep.
You know, and if you represent status quo, you're part of the problem. You know,
That's
so
right.
I can't say it any easier and clearer than that.
No, you
Thank you for the time.
you have been very clear about it, and we appreciate your remarks, son. I just hope that our beloved audience are paying attention. Thank you so much.
They still have a problem, I understand.
We can't give up. At least I can't give up. I can't give up.
No, don't give up, and I won't give up.
Good thing, man.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. And yes, beloved, this is how we come to the end of another Tuesday afternoon. And as we're saying that, yes, my one and only sister did. In fact, call into the office to let them know that she is not going to be able to make it tomorrow, so I am going to be here again tomorrow, holding the fort for my one and only sister. So in the meantime, it says, beloved, lick your cream. Lamsang ice cream is just so good for your soul. Just don't you ever forget that it don't matter how big a basket they give us to full up. One, we could full up that basket just as long as we do it together.